Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I hope you are all doing fine. In today's video I am going to discuss about what if Jack Marston being in the RDR3 game. Here are 6 highlight topics that I am going to discuss in this video. Number 1 topic is Red Dead Redemption 3 can save Jack Marston from his father's fate. If Jack Marston returns in Red Dead Redemption 3, then he has the opportunity to make it out of the outlaw world alive when his father could not. If Red Dead Redemption 3 is ever released, then there may be a chance for Jack Marston to avoid meeting the same type of end as his father. In both previous Red Dead Redemption games, the main story ended with the death of the main protagonist. While there is no information about a potential sequel thus far, if the story continues from its latest point chronologically, that would leave Jack as the most plausible protagonist. At the end of the original Red Dead Redemption, Jack has resigned himself to the outlaw life after the loss of his parents. While this is mostly for the sake of being able to have a post-game following John's death, it's tragic to see him end up in the life that his father had tried so hard to escape from. Jack is Rockstar's saddest character, and finally giving him some closure would be a kindness. Number 2 topic is why Red Dead Redemption 3 is almost a certainty. If Jack is the protagonist for Red Dead Redemption 3, then his journey will likely come to an end one way or another. However, his ending doesn't have to follow the same notes as John and Arthur's did. At this point players will be expecting for the protagonist to die in the end, but Rockstar could take a different route and have Jack survive, and there are some good reasons for them to do so. Number 3 topic is Jack's story would be the culmination of 3 games of build-up. Jack Marston was never the main character of any of the previous games. In Red Dead Redemption, he was John's son that John would move heaven and earth to keep safe. In the prequel, John was just a little kid that lived in the Van der Linde camp and was protected by the gang. The Van der Lindes were a doomed gang, but protecting Jack was one thing they did right. When young Jack was kidnapped, the Van der Lindes mobilized to rescue him. When John's family was threatened, he agreed to hunt down the other former Van der Linde members. Until he became the player character in RDR's epilogue, Jack was more of a motivation than an active character. In Red Dead Redemption 3, Jack could finally have a chance to be the center of the story, and show what exactly he has taken from the lessons of his life thus far. In RDR, this ended with Jack killing Edgar Ross as revenge for his father. Despite the satisfaction of taking down the main villain, Jack's path in life is tragic. Almost every important person in his life, particularly his parents John and Abigail, and Arthur, who had his own difficult childhood, wanted him to make a life for himself outside of being an outlaw. Unfortunately, his despair led him straight into that very life. Why Red Dead Redemption 3 can't be an RDR2 sequel. After the ambiguous ending of the first game's epilogue, having Red Dead Redemption 3 be the end of Jack's time as an outlaw would be a great way to close out the story. This ending would also subvert player expectations. The last 2 games have ended with the death of the hero, so for Jack to survive and successfully leave the outlaw life behind would be a satisfying way to end the trilogy. Number 4 topic is by the end of RDR, the world around Jack has changed significantly. At the series' chronological start, the Wild West was a vast, untamed world that lived up to its name. Towns were small, and the roads were lethal, with the dead left to decompose in RDR2's wilderness. Even beyond the animals and strong weather conditions that could befall travelers, there were several gangs of roving outlaws making life difficult for the people of the West. Despite being outlaws themselves, the Van der Linde gang felt a lot of the same difficulties as law-abiding citizens, as well as their own issues with the law and gang rivalries. That is the world that Jack grew up in, and part of the reason why he became a gunslinger. By the time of Red Dead Redemption's epilogue, the year is 1914, and America is changing. The world is no longer so wild, and the days of outlaws and gunslingers are quickly coming to an end. With Jack having never known anything but his father's lifestyle, this would provide plenty of conflict for him. Similar to how Jack has no real choice in RDR's ending, he likely feels that he has few options in the world following the epilogue. However, especially considering his early love of reading and books, he would have a chance to adapt and potentially find a better life. The clash between Jack's outlaw lifestyle and the increasingly industrialized world would not only make for great gameplay and world-building, but also represent a turning point in Jack's life. He is an outsider to society, just like the Van der Lindes were in the old days. However, he may have a chance to do what the others never could in this changing world, and find his place outside of a life of crime. Number 5 topic is Rockstar may have already foreshadowed Jack's ultimate fate. At the end of Red Dead Redemption, Jack seems to be in a bleak place. His family is gone, and he has no one left in his life apart from the strangers he meets. However, an Easter egg in Grand Theft Auto The 5th of May have already hinted at how Jack could still find a happy ending in the Red Dead world. Number 6 topic is how Red Dead Redemption 3 could make train gameplay more fun. In GTA 5, after Franklin gets a house in Vinewood Hills, the player can find a bookshelf in his living room, and the titles on the book's spines can be read. Most of the titles are odd or humorous, but there is one interesting book among them, a book called Red Dead, by Jack Marston. This could simply be a reference to the first game, especially since Jack and John both share the same first initial. However, this could also be a hint that Jack manages to avoid meeting the same early end as his father. Jack is 19 at the end of Red Dead Redemption. Unless he died very shortly after the first game's epilogue ends, he could easily have had time to write the book during his lifetime. RDR3 can leave the Old West behind at the same time that Jack does. In fact, that could lead to a satisfying end for Red Dead Redemption 3 with Jack, having retired from gunslinging, decided to record his life as best he can in a memoir, finishing the trilogy with his own words. There is no way to tell if Red Dead Redemption 3 will come, or if Rockstar will move on to other things. However, if it wants an interesting idea that will set it apart, following Jack's continued adventures would be a good move. If the developers decide to do so, then they have a chance to end the Red Dead Redemption series on a positive note, with a protagonist finally surviving their long journey. That's the end of my video, and thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to hit the bell icon to get notified of our latest uploads. See you next time on Crazy Gamers.